If I would have stayed like, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the wonderfulness of StreamYards. It just decided to go this time.
And they raised the price, right? Just for this,
Yeah.
with all these problems.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. But hi everybody out there. This is the UN podcast. This is Vaughn B, and this is Ricky. You can't clap for yourself. Who's gonna clap for you, right?
That's true.
Yeah. So, how you doing today, bro?
So far, so good.
Okay. Well, I tried out my first gaming Let's Play the other day.
Yeah, well, I was gonna ask you what happened.
Nothing. Why? Well,
Yeah, it just your I don't know, it was your signal or it was something with the StreamYard. It just played a couple minutes and that was it.
really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I had it like set up so that I can look at it. So for me, it played like the whole thing, but it was doing like weird stuff where, like, all right,
I don't know because I checked it on the YouTube. It didn't show it. It just showed you talked like for a couple seconds and that was it.
well, there was a test screen. That one is short, and like the one that I did, no, that one's about 2.5 hours.
It's
So
not on the YouTube.
yeah, because it's unlisted. You got to go into the you got to go into the playlist to see it. And this morning it said like 8 hours for some reason, and then now it says 2 hours. And when I kept looking at it, it kept telling me that it was live. So I don't know if YouTube was doing something weird.
Yeah, because even though it was already like 11, according to that channel, it was still saying live.
Yeah, so something weird was going on. You know, it's like first time doing this, and so we'll see how this goes. But it was actually pretty interesting. The game was boring. Like, bro, like when you first cut it on, like you get to a point where they got pronouns and shit. It's like, dude.
Never ending.
Well, and there's like a section where, all right, so you meet, so everybody around you is like, these weird creatures, right? Humanoid creatures with fur and scales and all that stuff. So the first female human that you meet, because I play as a human guy, you go through this whole thing, and she basically follows you to her boat, right? So when you get off the island and you talk to, like, it's like every other woke ass game. It's like everybody that you talk to is female. Everybody in charge of this place that you're at is a girl, because that's how your military works. It is nothing but female. I have no idea what the men does in these medieval time armies or whatever. But
maybe they're the cook.
Yeah, I guess I don't know, because everyone you talk to is a chick. Everyone who seems to be in charge is a chick or an alien. So I guess they're the marginalized people of the game. So they get to be like weird fur animals and all that kind of stuff. So you finally come across a guy, and one of the first options on the thing when you finally meet a human male is to flirt with him. So at that point, I'm like, what the?
And what type of game is this?
Avowed. It is a RPG thing where you can only hit things that you can like kill. So like a lot of these RPGs, you can be a pain in the ass and like punch people and all that stuff. And a lot of people get their aggression out by doing that kind of thing. But no, you can't hit NPCs.
Sounds like a boring ass game.
You can't hit NPCs. You can only destroy the things that they let you destroy. So you can't destroy everything. Yeah, it's getting dragged on Steam right now. It's like hardly anybody's playing it. Yeah, it's kind of like I wanted to try it. I'm not enthused about actually playing it again because it was kind of boring.
You
The
seen
dial.
they show the game, I don't know if it's, Black Hawk Down? You seen it?
I know there is a Black Hawk Down
It says
extend DLC for one of these multiplayer games that's out now.
yeah, they're showing, Black Hawk Down. That's
Yeah,
one of the best. I thought it was one of the best movies out there.
yeah. There's a actually I think they did a game around that time too. That's you got to go a little bit into the archives to find it, but I think they did make a black something based.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be one game I'll play, the Black Hawk Down.
Mhm.
That's, pretty cool right there.
Well, maybe I'll check out on Good Old Games and see if they got it on there. Usually, like those older games are like really cheap. All right, so we had a no, I'm serious. We had a well, I don't know how to take this, but we did have some news where Amazon got the rights to the full creative rights to the 007 franchise. So somebody read there's an article on Bleeding Fool that I want to check out, see if I can get some more information on it. Because I just kind of all right, here we go. All right. Is 007 dead? Amazon takes full creative control of the James Bond franchise. The iconic James Bond franchise is suddenly facing a dire future as Amazon MGM Studios takes creative control, according to a shocking report from Variety. Longtime producers Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson are stepping away from their roles as guardians of the Bond legacy. This decision leaves the fate of the suave British spy in the hands of executives who have demonstrated a fundamental misunderstanding of the character's essence. This undoubtedly will be a disastrous turn for the beloved spy franchise, especially considering that recent reports of Amazon executives misguided and woefully misaligned perceptions of the 007 character. Some Amazon executives reportedly don't even see the character as heroic. The statement alone reveals a profound disconnect between the new stewards of the franchise and the character's established identity. It is a sentiment that flies in the face of Bond's long-standing position as a quintessential hero in cinema history. So, what is your opinion on that? So,
I mean, I like 007, but the only problem is who's gonna be the writers.
well, given that it's Amazon and Amazon has been hit or miss when it comes to their stuff they've been doing. Mostly,
Especially Lord of the Rings.
right? Because they
I mean,
don't,
the Rings of Power.
right? So they don't. They put people in charge who don't really understand the characters that they're trying to do. Hence, like what the article says that the some of the executives don't see him as heroic. Is a lot of these newer folks tend to not place anything in its historical place. It's like James Bond is a product of this 60s and spy genre and all that stuff. They try to modernize the thing, completely ignoring the fact that most of the people who would have anything to do with this don't want you to modernize it, but they actually
So,
don't.
what do you think? They gonna still go with the James Bond against the USSR and stuff like that, or are they gonna change it up?
Oh no, dude! I would be shocked and stunned if he remains a British white guy. I'd be shocked. They tried to do that. They tried to look. The people who were trying to prevent that tried to do something like that in the last one, where that bald headed black chick that was in everything for a little bit that they was trying to make a thing.
The Wakanda one?
No, I forgot else all this other stuff that she was in, but it was like trying really hard to make her a thing, and it just wasn't working. So she's in there talking trash about James Bond and calling him all kind of he's outdated and yada yada yada. And it's like you are aware that this it is the trope of the tiny woman talking trash to a man who could clearly kill her ass. And the
Yeah,
only reason that he hasn't done it is restraint on his end. But they
remember
still
the I think that game Nintendo 64 James Bond. That was one of the best games.
Okay.
You remember that one?
You talk about like Nintendo 64, GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Okay, you kind of went left on me. Uh, but yeah, that is a classic.
The
First
original
person.
one, the original James Bond game,
Yes, that is
where
Golden.
you
Yeah,
just go. That was like the Call of Duty back then, where
yes,
you're going with the gun. You change with AK-47. You're rolling. You're fighting against the USSR, the communists, stuff like that.
yes. Uh, oh, you switch subject, but yeah, yeah. You talk about GoldenEye. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. So what we're talking about is what Amazon is eventually going to do. Because there's another article that I'm going to check out like right after this that talks about something that Jeff Bezos put out. So adding insult to injury, Amazon has previously floated ideas for spin-offs that would drastically alter the Bond universe, including a female 007 series, which nobody will actually want, further demonstrating a clear intention to reshape the franchise to fit a corporate agenda rather than respecting its rich heritage and loyal fan base. Amazon MGM has already proven with Rings of Power that they have little respect for lore and that they will force modern identity politics and agenda activism into even the most beloved of IPs. Broccoli's previous characterization of Amazon executives as effing idiots now seems prophetic. Prophetic. Her concerns about entrusting Bond to algorithmic centric decision makers appear well founded, as the franchise was losing its unique identity in favor of becoming just another cog in Amazon's content machine. Broccoli has also previously insisted that the character should remain a male, but it now appears that the obvious decision is no longer hers to make. And this is what I'm talking about. For a while, they were trying to make her a thing. She was in a bunch of stuff, like the main, and like, just please stop with the 5'2" chick who acts like a dude and is trying to out men the men around her.
I mean, honestly, I have a feeling they're gonna put a female 007.
Bro, you know they're gonna do it. This is what she was supposed to be. So they were trying to do it then. And then they from the rumors, they shot the movie where she basically was going to be Jane, like the new James Bond.
And they're gonna send her to Asia, huh?
No, because no, they're not gonna do that. She's gonna attack. They're gonna find some group of white people someplace, and she's gonna magically fight misogyny and racism and all that stuff. That's
fit in there, huh?
no. She's gonna she's gonna fight. She's fight for the marginalized. That's what she's gonna do.
Yeah, because you have to remember when 007, he's a spy. So if you go to another country, you find a spy like the USSR, right? He fits in. But you need spies that will fit into another country that look like them.
Okay. What, America?
No, like if you have spies everywhere, you can't send a African American to China and be a spy, right?
Yeah, they do. You talking about
China?
We got Chinese people who came across the border that could potentially be spies. That happens all the time.
Different. That's different. China is way different.
Right. No, but what I'm saying is they don't necessarily have to look like the people that they're spying on. They're not chameleons. So
no, but I'm just saying it's more obvious. That's what I'm saying.
Depends on where you at.
That's what I'm saying. It depends where you're at.
So I don't know. Given what their track record of stuff, I have no desire to see whatever it is that they're gonna come up with.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying. I think it's gonna be bad.
Well, yeah. So with Amazon fully at the helm, James Bond will be reduced to a mere commodity, stripped of nuanced storytelling and cinematic spectacle that has defined the series for over 6 decades. The potential for Bond to be transformed into a watered-down, politically correct shadow of his former self looms large, threatening to alienate longtime enthusiasts and tarnish the legacy of one of cinema's most endearing characters. In 2022, Amazon required MGM, including a vast catalog of 4,000 films and 17,000 TV shows. Since the MGM acquisition, Amazon has held the rights to distribute all James Bond films And as a result of this transaction, will have creative control over future production. As per the details of the historic agreement, Amazon MGM Studios, Wilson and Berkeley have formed a new joint venture to house the James Bond intellectual property rights. The three parties will remain co-owners of the iconic franchise, but Amazon will have creative control. As the smoke clears for a seismic shift in creative control, the future and fortune of James Bond hang in the balance. Most fans are rightly worried whether Amazon can rise to the challenge of stewing this beloved franchise, or if their misguided ideas will lead to the downfall of cinema's most famous spy. So there's like another. I can. There we go. All right. So the other article on this is Jeff Bezos crowdsourcing casting choices for Amazon version of 007. The Amazon CEO and multi-billionaire Jeff Bezos went to social media to ask users who they think should portray the next James Bond. Now that Amazon MGM has fully taken control over the franchise. Okay, so here we go. Okay. Appealed to his 4.3 million followers on Instagram to ask who should be the next 007, resulting in an outpouring of support for Chair's fan favorite Henry Cavill. Okay. Who has previously touted as a possibility with Aaron Taylor Johnson. Okay, see if they actually have do we have a link? Here we go. Okay. Here we go, Instagram. It can't be the only thing. Okay. I don't know, dude. I have like little faith, to be honest, with what could possibly happen with this.
I mean, after watching the Rings of Power, I mean, it was bad. I have no trust that they'll get this right.
Yeah. Well, given the fact that it is pretty obvious the direction that the culture is going in, and that how you putting some sex changed or race changed James Bond out will be guaranteed to flop, because one, you won't write an actual good character. Like, one of the things that they always could have done, and they could have did this when he was a little bit younger, is did a movie with a second 00, because there's a bunch of them, and have that person go on some kind of adventure as a side character to James Bond. And if that works, then you can do a spinoff with that character. You can give him his own, you can create his own backstory, his own lore, give him his own villains, all that stuff, and you don't have to touch James Bond. But the common thing that seems to be pretty evident is that they have zero faith in brown characters on their own. All right.
So they purchased the rights of James Bond 007. Would it be a series, right?
No, movies. It's everything. When they bought MGM, they got, like, MGM is the one who put out James Bond movies. So when they bought MGM, they got control over the distribution of James Bond. That's probably why you had that old girl having such a prominent role in the last one, because all the people who work at Amazon pushing this stuff. So, and the reason why that didn't happen was from the pushback from the original people who had control of the creative part. Well, those people are giving Amazon full control. So those people who
if they make the movie, it's gonna be on Amazon Prime.
No, it's gonna go in theaters. Yeah, it's gonna be in theaters, just like the last one in theaters. So yeah, they're gonna actually have creative control, and they have creative control over the aspect of the Lord of the Rings that they bought. And you see what you get. You get a teeny tiny 5 foot nothing chick who weighs like 90 pounds, walking in talking like she's a 6'9", 380 pound dude, which looks ridiculous. It looks absolutely ridiculous that she's walking around acting like that.
Yeah, because according to the books, a lot of stuff they changed, right? That she was a warrior and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
she was not
probably
really.
no,
Yeah,
that
was
never
not
happened. No. But so the next thing that we're going to talk about is what happened with the gloriousness that is Captain America 4. And if okay. All right. All right. So how big a drop you think that Captain America 4 had? Did you ever go see it?
No, they said second week it made 28 million. It dropped.
Yes. Looks like it's gonna be like a 69% drop.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, all right. Underperforming films marked by significant box office decline and tepid global reception. Despite the initial domestic opening of 88.5 million over the 3-day weekend and almost exactly 100 million across the 4-day President's Day weekend, including Thursday, the film experienced a 68% drop in its second weekend, according to projections, earning only 28.1 million. See, the word of mouth will bite you in the ass. And I know people told everyone around them that this was not the thing. However, 82% drop from last Friday. The second Friday signals that the projections could be rosy and this film could be much worse than analysts were giving it credit. Historically, Marvel Cinematic Universe has maintained a robust box office performances, with films typically experiencing a moderate second weekend decline. For instance, Black Panther saw a mere 44.7% drop, while Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and Avengers Infinity War each had a 55% decline. All right. So this was talking about that Friday. In contrast, the steep minimum 68% fall of the Brave New World places among the MCU's poorest performers in terms of audience retention. Several factors contribute to this underperformance. The film received mixed reviews with a 49% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't really care about that. Average rating of 5.5 out of 10. Critics noted that while Anthony Mackie capably assumes the mantle of Captain America, I seriously doubt that he could. And from what I've heard, they had spots in it where it looked like he has a super serum formula, and he's just not a regular guy. Too routine and overstuffed with uninteresting Easter eggs to feel like a worthy standalone adventure, because they are trying to shoehorn one character into the shoes of another that he did not deserve to have. They should have made a Falcon movie. They should have made a
But they could
Falcon
have made
movie.
the Falcon movie with Red Hawk.
Hmm?
With the Red
Okay.
Hawk.
All right, you kind of threw me there. Like, what are you talking about?
No, we're talking about they should have made a Falcon movie.
Yeah, they should have done. The Falcon is a great character on its own. They should have just made a Falcon movie instead of trying to make him into Captain America. It did not work in the comics. And it clearly is not working in the movie theater, like in the cinema, because they are trying their best to instead of building up his character and just, but you need actually good writers to do this. Have him have his own adventure, give him his own people to have to deal with. Again, you can create an entirely new thing with Falcon. People like Anthony Mackie, regardless of the stupid nonsense that he said in Italy. But other than that, most people like Anthony Mackie as a person. Seems like a decent dude.
I thought he was a good actor with the Avengers.
Right. So they could have easily made but there's a guy named Hidemo Kojima. He made like a bunch of really popular like video games, right? So he put out a tweet about how he didn't really understand the movie because the last time he saw like anything dealing with Marvel was Endgame. So he watched Endgame and then he watches this and he's like, he doesn't really know what's going on. Seriously, because you have because this movie is based on you having watched the stupid television show that nobody watched. See, this is why, like, all right. So the guy that was in charge of the Marvel before, like before Kevin Feige pushed his ass out the door, he was like, the TV shows don't push the movies. Like the movies can push the television shows, but it doesn't work the other way around. So the movies are, if you watch the movie, so this movie and then this movie, then you understand what's going on. What happens in the television shows doesn't matter as much.
So you're thinking that most of the series that they made, they shouldn't just do it for like Marvel, just stay with movies.
Right. All right. So the way that it used to work before is because you had the Netflix stuff, and then you had the Agents of Shield, right? So what happened on the Agents of Shield got crazy. They got like time travel and they went out to space. They did all kind of stuff. None of that had anything to do with the movies. Like what happened in the movies. But what happened in the movies touched on the stuff that happened, like got touched on a little bit in the TV shows. So they had like one of their best seasons for Agents of Shield is when they had a whole thing about the Hydra thing taking over Shield and nobody knew. So like Shield was basically Hydra, but nobody knew about that. So they had like a whole thing, like half the season was about that. So that was like actually pretty cool. And for the Netflix shows, they kind of talked about what happened in downtown New York, and that was it. So they had their own little thing. So it was like a separate universe from the films. So what happened in the films affected the other films, and it had a little bit of effect on the TV shows. What they decided to do was to try to get people, because Disney was trying to get people to watch Disney Plus because they wanted the subscribers.
Yeah.
So that's why they came up with the bright idea to have all the TV shows and like one big old story, and you have to watch TV shows.
Do you can understand it when they make the movie?
Right. So a lot of people went to go see Doctor Strange, and it was like, why is Scarlet Witch killing people?
If you didn't watch Vision, you would not understand.
Right. So it's like they had no idea why the hell is like she's ripping people's skin off. It's like the last time most people saw Scarlet Witch was Endgame. So it's like what the hell am I watching? So that's why that doesn't work.
What would you suggest? Like if they make any series in Marvel and Disney Plus, just make it like don't put it into the movie, like just separate it, the different story.
Yeah, they need to go back to how it was before. The movies are about the movies. You can have whatever happens in the movies affect the television show, but the television shows don't affect the movies.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Because that is the whole way they looked at it was an attempt to get people who are fans of the movies to subscribe to Disney Plus. That didn't happen.
Okay,
not at all.
It's like the Lord of the Rings, right? You follow the movie, the first one, then you follow the second one. You know what happened already, and then you follow the third one, so you can understand what's going on.
Right.
So imagine have to go watch another TV series.
Right, so imagine the Lord of the Rings, and they had a television show in between the first Lord of the Rings and the second Lord of the Rings, where Frodo lost his eye and has an eye patch and a limp. So when your second Lord of the Rings comes out, all of a sudden Frodo's walking around.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Right. So because the only thing they were thinking about is getting people who enjoyed the movies to watch the damn Disney Plus.
I think they took a big gamble. They thought that people were really gonna go because they were a fan of Marvel and stuff. They were gonna, watch all this stuff.
Right, but the thing is that the people that they put in charge, and it just like the thing that we just talked about with 007, they didn't understand the characters, so they don't think that Sam like he can carry his own movie. So that's why they did this. So Sam can't carry his own movie, and then they really don't think that he can carry it. So apparently, he's the Red Hawk for like 5 minutes at the end of the movie.
If just say they would have made a movie, you make a movie, The Falcon. Like who would you put as the villain?
It could be anybody. Like that's what I said. It's like
No, but I'm asking you
no,
like your opinion. Like, who do you think will be a good movie with him?
like as a villain,
Uh-huh.
Sam is a regular guy, right? That's that made the whole friendship between him and Cap such an interesting dynamic. Is because one is superpowered, the other one is not. So everything that he's doing because how brave he is. So you don't have to have a super villain. You can have like him make it a spy thing.
Oh,
Like Bucky and the Falcon should have been like a buddy cop spy thriller. That would have been very interesting.
but
But
that
they did
series sucked. That one they made
right
the last
because
was terrible.
it's because when they filmed it, they decided to tap into the Black Lives Matter. Apparently, a bunch of people who work in Marvel have no idea why people like why so many black people came out to see like Black Panther, right? So they thought that it was only because he was black, because of African or whatever. I'm like, no,
No, because that
no,
was a
he was a good
character.
character
Uh-huh.
who came from us. So it wasn't just black people that like, dude, we're like 11% of the population.
And
So
they broke it broke records too, huh?
right, yeah, you don't make $1 billion in damn near $1 billion in America and only have black people go see it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you made it a interesting character who had an interesting origin in a movie that everybody liked, and then you gave him just like I said about the James Bond thing. You make another character, you make him interesting, you put him in somebody else's thing, you give him a little shine. If people gravitate to that, then you give him his own thing. So when his own thing comes out, so then you got like this whole thing. So people are intrigued as to this movie. You make the movie, you get a good director who tells an interesting story. And then you like most people had no idea who Killmonger was. He's a second rate like villain that unless you are deep into comics, you wouldn't know who he is. But you got a really good actor to portray a good character who had depth and who had a reason why he did the things that he did.
True.
Right. So it's like, but this, they didn't do any of that. They thought that they just can take a popular series.
They just look like they just slap shit in there and that was it.
Yes, that's basically what they did. It's like, this is a popular series. So therefore, because it's popular, the people who like it, and this is commonplace with so much of this woke shit, is they think that you can just take a fan base from this and just move it over to this other thing. Bro, it's the same thing. Like,
Hey, they might follow it, but then once they start watching, they'll just quit watching.
Bro, it's all right. So to put it to sports for a little bit, the Caitlin Clark thing with the WNBA last year. So many of them people over there thought that she didn't deserve her fan base. So they tried everything in their power to take her fan base, take it from her, and give it to Angel Reese or AGA, whatever her name is, Wilson. They thought that they can just take them and put it over here where they thought that this person deserved it. I'm like, that's not how any of this works. But for whatever reason, none of these people understand that.
Yeah, the difference from Caitlin Clark is she was able to how you say build a following.
Right,
so
but
from college they follow her to the WNBA.
Right. So, but that's the thing when you go back to bring it back to the movies, they want everything instantaneous. It's like they don't realize that most of these characters that you're talking about have been around for 50, 60 years. Right. Captain America fought Nazis during World War II.
That was the American secret weapon.
Right. He was created back in 1940, right? Sam Wilson was created in the 60s or something like that. These characters been around a long time. You can't just swap them. That's not like you can put whoever
like that.
Right. So you could put whoever you want in a Batman costume. People gonna look at it like that's not Batman. It's just a dude wearing a suit. That's a black dude, a Latino dude, or whoever you want to put in the costume. He's not Batman. He's not
Yeah,
Captain
because you
America.
can't put a Hispanic guy as John Wayne. Doesn't seem right.
Right, but what you can do is you can create another character, which
They're
they
just too
don't want to
lazy
do.
to do that.
Bro, did you know that? Like, so you heard of the Lone Ranger, right?
Yeah.
Do you know that that character is based off a black dude?
No.
No, there's an actual guy, a ranger, the most renowned ranger in the history of our country. Busted people all over back and forth, and they like his character is based off of that guy. You can make that movie about that guy. He was so dedicated to being a like a lawman. When his son got in trouble, he actually he went after and arrested his son because his son broke the law. He was that dedicated to being, but they're never going to tell that story, which is crazy. It's like the actual, like the real life dude that the Lone Ranger is built off. He went through Indian territory. He went through all kind of stuff. So everything, yeah, is completely based off of that. But they're never going to do that because they have no faith in non-white characters, and they just think that they can just take this fan base and just take it and put it wherever they think that it belongs. It's fucking crazy. And these are the people who are in charge of all of the entertainment stuff. They're the ones who keep making the same stupid movies over and over and over again. They're the ones who make the freaking video games where the first, like I told you, the first freaking male character that I meet is the first option is to flirt with him. When I've already met a female and they had none of those, the flirting option was not with the female.
It's bad. It's all these bad writers, man. It's just
no, it's bad writing.
They're running it. The writers is
it's bad. It is bad writing and ideologues who think that who don't understand how it is that you change the world to reflect the or whether or not you can. You know, like the fat acceptance stuff is how they thought if they just put enough fat chicks in front of you, somehow men's desire would just magically change to accept this.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, like Hooters is going out of business because they decided to do the body positive thing. The every person is a female thing, so they got like Hooters where they got like transgenders at.
I mean, the reason you go to Hooter is because of the girls.
Right. But they thought that they can just stick anything in there and you would just keep going. It is a fundamental misunderstanding of how humans work.
The same thing as the clubs. They always hire beautiful girls with marketing that go out there and promote their clubs.
Yeah. And bouncer. And the dude who's the bouncer in the front is usually a big ass dude.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They don't hire tiny females to be bouncers in clubs. Because it's not going to work.
Or the bartender. Sometimes the bartender are either
very hot dude, very hot chick.
Yeah. Because that's the purpose.
The whole purpose is for that person to flirt with whatever they're flirting with.
The club and
to get you in the club to spend money. Because that's how humans work.
It's just the way it is.
Right. So they feel like they can just change stuff and it's going to magically change, and it doesn't. And it's like they cannot figure out why. I'm like, it's because you were trying to fight reality. All right. So the next story, though. All right. Well, let's see. Okay, I don't need to read that because that's another. You want to talk about Johnny Depp, or you want to talk about let's talk about this, even though that's not really on the thing that I have listed.
With Johnny Depp?
Well, no, we could do that next. This one is going to be kind of quick. All right. So there's a really popular game on right now. It's like my godson keeps bugging me constantly about playing it. He wants me to play it with him. So it's Marvel Rivals. All right. It's another, but it kind of goes into what we're talking about is Chinese people, like Asians, just in general, they still make appealing characters. So their females look like females, big chest, small waist, that kind of thing. And the men are beefy, buff dudes, right? It's the exact opposite of what they're doing in the West. So that's why those games are, because they're still fun and they still have pleasant looking characters. Character designs are pleasant. The Avowed, yeah, everybody's ugly. All the women are flat chested. One of the first person, I mean, like when you get off the ship from the little first mission and you are talking to the female captain of the militia on this new island, she has about as much chest as the dude who's standing next to her. So she looks like she's completely square. It's like a square body, right? Meanwhile, this is magic. So she see how she small, nice chest, nice figure, right? Kind of right. So after Marvel Rivals layoffs, NetEase rumored to pull funding from other Western developers because they are, quote, lazy, entitled, slow, and woke. All right. And the rumor alleges that NetEase may pull funding from other Western studios in the wake of its of it laying off Marvel Rivals developers in the Seattle studio. Note that's like 6 people, so that's not like not a huge thing. But it was originally reported that Marvel Rivals game director Thaddeus Sasser that he's laid off his entire Seattle-based team. He wrote on LinkedIn, "This is such a weird industry. My stellar, talented team just helped deliver an incredibly successful new franchise in Marvel Rivals for NetEase games, and we're just laid off." As for what his team did, he explained a lot of our time on the project was spent as sort of R&D branch, coming up with new level design mechanics, gameplay mechanics, and so on. NetEase confirmed that the layoffs and explained in a statement to IGN, "We recently made the difficult decision to adjust Marvel Rivals development team structure for organizational reasons and to optimize development efficiency for the game. This resulted in a reduction of a design team based in Seattle, and that is a part of a larger global design function to support Marvel Rivals. We appreciate the hard work and dedication of those affected, and will be treating them confidentially and respectfully with recognition of their individual contributions." Next, it stated, "We want to reassure our fan base that the core development team for Marvel Rivals, which continues to be led by lead producer Wai Kong Wu and game creative director Gua Yoon Chin, probably butchering that, in Guangzhou, China, remains fully committed to delivering an exceptional experience." It shared, "We're investing more, not less, into the evolution and growth of this game. We're excited to deliver new superhero characters, maps, features, and content to ensure an engaging live service experience for our worldwide player base." Now, a rumor from Grums, he's always okay. The case that a Chinese company might be pulling funding from multiple Western developers because it believes them to be lazy, entitled, and slow and woke. He shared, "It's just laying off the 6-person Rivals team. NetEase is also pulling funding from Western and potentially Japanese game studios. The CEO is said to be very unsatisfied with Western developers, calling them lazy and yada yada yada."
That's true.
All right, so these are the people. These are the studios so these are the ones that are on the huge investment for NetEase, funded by top veterans from AAA gaming, mostly made during high flying game demand during COVID boredom, a demand which since has contracted, which is a thing. They hired a lot of people during COVID because a bunch of people had money and no time to do anything else. Now they don't need all this.
Mostly staying home.
Right. So this rumor came in the week of reporting from Stephen Totillo at GameFi, who claimed that February 21st was NetEase plans to divest itself of the majority of its overseas teams, leading to the potential closure of more than a dozen game studios if they can't secure a new post NetEase funding. And NetEase spokesman informed the outlet that all studios and projects are in constant review and evaluation, and NetEase will determine changes to be made throughout the process. Their CEO noted during a conference call that the company is still committed to support. Okay. Really high quality studios and really master creators. So in a sense, It's like they probably were getting a lot of crazy suggestions that they kept trying to. No, we're not doing that. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. It's like, you
I
know
mean, but
what?
it's true, right? The other developers over here, they're just messing up these games.
Right. So essentially, they have in the last few weeks we've had a lot of bragging about, well, we're up to 32% of non-binary and female things. Like that's not a that, that actually is not the benefit that you think, because the games have been shit. The game's been shit. And then you're just telling us the reason why the games have been shit is because you hired all these people. We're at the point now where most of the, when they reveal a game or they reveal a new studio or whatever, and you look at the people who are making the games, and the first time anybody sees somebody who got pink hair, like nose rings and tattoos and all that, and looks a little odd, they're like, oh, okay, I'm not buying that game. Because that person has,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, because that person has zero thought process goes into making something that's fun to play. They are trying to shove whatever their lifestyle is, whatever it is, into your face at all times, and they expect you to accept it.
Yeah, and everybody just wants to play a game. That's it. But they want to throw all this propaganda stuff.
Right. Because they are under the impression that
But then if you don't buy it, they think that
you hate them.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's shit.
It's the reality of the world, you know?
Right. It's like, it is trying to explain. Sometimes it's like you talking to children. You know how a kid thinks that you're supposed to just do whatever the hell the thing that they want to do, that you're just supposed to. You're just supposed to want to do it. Like, no, that's not how this works. It's like, you make product, you market product, you sell product. If people like product, they buy product. If they don't like buy product, they don't buy it. That's it.
It's the freedom of choice, what you want.
Right. But if you listen to a lot of these people talk, dude, they don't believe in freedom of choice. Like, you choose it.
It's here and take this and shut up.
Right. So, dude, and you can look into all the stuff that there was an announcement recently that Playboy is going to start putting out magazines again that has hot chicks in it. Shocking.
I think the Sun took over, right? The Sun?
Probably.
I believe the Sun took over Playboy.
Right. So he's going to put out a magazine with hot chicks in it. Shocking. Go figure. It's like, what? People who bought Playboy like looking at hot chicks. I mean, they don't like looking at transvestites and fat chicks and.
Well, they could do that separate. People want to see that.
Nobody bought this shit.
But not with Playboy. Somebody else.
Bro, they ruined, like, those people ruined Maxim magazine because they did that over there. They ruined Victoria's Secrets. They ruined, because it's the same general idea. You're gonna accept this, regardless of the fact that you want to accept this. I'm like, I don't want to accept it, because that's why I don't like these companies. What I don't get is how they don't, after the Bud Light thing, realize that people can just not do a thing, regardless of how long they've been doing it. People were drinking Bud Light. That was like a staple. Like Bud Light and NASCAR and all that stuff was it was a Southern staple. It's just what they did. And then you did what you hired someone who completely disregarded your customer base in hopes of appealing to the people that she saw in California. Did not think about the fact that her customer base lives in the middle of the country for the most part. So
you make it sound like people in California don't drink Bud Light.
I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying that is the country is not just California.
No, I know, but I'm saying the majority of a lot of the population in California is what, 40, 50 million already?
Right, but that's not. We still have another 200.
Sure a lot of people in California were pissed too.
I'm quite sure that they were. I'm not saying that they weren't. And what I'm saying is, it's the same thing, because if you look where all the gaming studios are, where Hollywood is, where the music industry is, and all these other stuff, they're making stuff not for the majority of the country. They're making it for one
A
spot.
little tiny population.
Right. So when they talk about, like in the movies, how these stuff is not doing well out of the country, right? The reason for that is, whereas we used to export American cultural stuff, which people, because it was all different types of things, people can get with, right? They can relate to it in wherever, Pakistan or whatever, right? Or Sri Lanka. There are certain aspects of family life and all that stuff that they can rock with. You neglect most of the America, and you just talk about like California politics, like San Francisco and Los Angeles. None of these people messing with that.
It's like trying to throw that in Saudi Arabia.
Right. And they're like, no. Right. No. So
Oh,
basically,
remember that one and the World Cup? It was in Qatar.
Yeah.
When they were trying, France was trying to throw all the other woke stuff, and the Qatar said, we're not doing this stuff here.
Yeah, we don't do
They were
that.
doing it outrage.
Yeah, it's like, no, they will
It's
put
not
your
even
ass.
their country. It's their country that they decide what they want.
It's because when they're in, like, when those people were in their country, they can, dude, I saw a thing where a bunch of protesters were protesting meat sitting on the floor in a supermarket. So this old dude was just trying to go down the fucking aisle to go get his meat.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
Right. And so when he was trying to push through, the freaking the manager came and was fussing at him because he's just trying to shop, and because he's not allowing these idiots to protest whatever stupid shit is going through their head.
So I mean, they want to protest, they just protest outside.
No, because then you ignore them. They think they like, yeah.
No, but I'm just saying the right way. You want to protest, you protest outside.
Bro, because you will be ignored.
It does. I know they'll be ignored, but I'm just trying. They just wanted more attention.
Right, but what I'm saying is, you take these same people who in their country, that happens where the manager comes talk to you instead of them, and then they go to like one of these Middle Eastern countries. I'm like, man, these people don't play that shit. They will grab your ass and
put you on, and throw you
put you on a plane. Yeah, right. And then once you in there for a couple of days, put you on a plane and fly you the fuck out of their country.
Like after they
whatever happens in the prison, I don't know. But like, they don't play. Seriously, it's like,
no, that's what I know they don't play. And just maybe whip you or something.
Right. So you think that putting a lesbian kissing scene in a cartoon of Buzz Lightyear is gonna fly in that country? No. That's why all this stuff is made, and this is why Disney is full of shit. Is they film it so that it has no effect on the actual story of the movie, so that they can just toss it out.
Yeah, the Buzz Lightyear, they did it fast. I didn't even realize that until they told me. I like, oh, okay, because it was so fast.
Right. Outside of America,
they just try to put it in.
Right, that shit is gone. It's not even in it because it has zero effect on the story.
Just and like did bad too, right? The Buzz Lightyear, the movie did bad.
Right, because they got rid of Tim Allen, and it has nothing to do with, because they already told the damn story of the cartoon that the kid was watching to get him to love. That came out in the early 2000s. They had like a whole TV show, and that was the whole premise of that is this is the show that the kid was watching that made him a fan of Buzz Lightyear. So I already did that. And but what I'm saying is they do this stuff to virtue signal, but the problem is it's not just a section anymore. It's like a whole thing. So when they market that out to the rest of the world, and the rest of the world's like, we don't have those issues. So we can't relate to this because that is not how our life is. What you used to tell was stories about family and that kind of thing. Yeah, we can relate to that. So it's and given a lot of stuff that these folks have been saying, I don't think they're actually gonna get it.
Not at this time. I think it's gonna take a while.
Bro, Ben Stiller was on some show when he was complaining about how everyone in Hollywood right now is terrified of what could happen if they say the wrong thing and do the wrong or whatever like this. And you sit there and you just look at them and like, are you serious? Bro, they got people in your industry who do not talk about their politics at all. Because if they did, they would get dropped by their management. They would get dropped by their what's the dude who their agent, and they wouldn't get any movies. And that has been going on for decades. And you have the nerve to sit your little ass there and say what you just said about how you're afraid that that's what's going to happen to you. Like, you have been doing that to people for decades. Where it's okay for you to spot off whatever stupid ass thing that pops into your head, but your conservative fellow actors can't say a fucking thing. But they're so cool. Bro, they're so absolutely clueless. They say shit like this.
Yeah, but Hollywood is it's dead
dead
already.
Right.
But slowly it's in life support right now.
Oh, let me show you. There's something that I did wanted to see for you to see, to show you how dead the shit is. All right. Find it. All right. All right. Share this. This will show you how dead this shit actually is. From what I'm thinking, that this is all AI, from the voices to everything. All right. Fan made film.
You are dead.
No one can kill a Jedi.
How wrong I was.
Do you remember the day you left Tatooine? So full of hope, starting your new life as a Jedi. I held your face in my hands, and I told you not to look back.
That boy is gone.
I see him through your mask. The same.
All right, so we're gonna watch the whole thing because it's like 7 minutes long. But Hollywood is dead, dude. It's dead. Dude, the voices looks like Jake Lloyd, sounds like the lady who sounds exactly. And this is the like we're
small Anakin.
Right. So we're in the we're a little past the beginning of this stuff. But this is what it looks like now. So what do you think it's gonna look like in 10 years? Fan made stuff. It is like, so they can keep saying what they want, saying all this stupid nonsense and like all this other crap. It's over. Like, seriously. So you have to start doing stuff that appeals to the mass amount of people. And I keep saying, bro, and I've said this for the last like 2 years, they need to start making money. So they need to start doing stuff. Stop listening to the pink-haired little friggin' twink in the corner who's telling you to appeal to 0.00% of the population.
Basically, Hollywood has been taken by YouTube content creators. It's true, right?
Right. It's the same thing.
Those are the new famous people. We grew up because of Hollywood and stuff like that. But now all these young generation, it's mostly that who they see on videos, TikTok, YouTube videos. That's Hollywood now.
Yeah, they had they were like this whole thing. It was like a red carpet event for for the Grammys or whatever. And these young, I don't know who they were, but these young folks were interviewing people on the red carpet. So Babyface comes up and they're like talking to him, right? So as they're talking to him, some other person who I don't know who the hell this chick is, she's a little dressed up like a clown or some shit like that. They basically shoved the babyface out of the way and happily went over to that person to talk to him.
Yeah, that's a.
They don't know and don't care that this man wrote hundreds of love songs throughout the 90s. Don't even care. Don't know who he is. All he knows is that he's famous because he's on the red carpet. But they don't know who he is. So they're like, all right, we should talk to him because it might make for good content or whatever. Shoved his ass out the way.
To put some normal YouTube content creator stuff.
Right. So someone there who's their age, they will know who that person is.
That's the new generation now.
Right. So it was funny. It was funny to watch. I feel kind of bad for Babyface, but it was funny to watch because it's just an indicator of.
You think Babyface is maybe his fault because maybe he should have got involved more with YouTube now, like whatever he had to do just to get his brand and stuff like that?
No. What I think it is older people are stuck in their ways. So that's why all the Hollywood stuff.
Stubborn.
Right. And it's not, I mean, it's stubborn, but it's also, you do stuff that you're used to. I'm like, bro, they're still looking, like a lot of these people are still looking at it from the aspect of, well, we got all this buildings and all this other stuff. But they're competing.
Yes, but the AI, that's it.
Well, yeah. And they tried to bring G4 back. And the person who did it, they went and bought a studio. They hired all these people to go to the studio. They had all this other stuff. And their competition was a bunch of people sitting in their room just talking about stuff that they read and see on the internet.
Have you ever been to Warner Studios? Warner Brothers Studios?
For like Universal.
Yeah, they take you a tour.
Yeah. Probably when I was a kid.
Yeah, and my brother was telling me that once you go there and you see how movies are done, it changes your whole perspective.
No, I mean, I knew that from when I was a kid. Like when you go to Universal Studio, you get kind of a behind the scenes stuff. But yeah, it's just it reminds me of a conversation I had with this older guy when I was in my late 20s. And this was before cell phones really took off. And it was just like the cellular ones were like, it was like mostly battery, with like a little bit of phone thing on it, but it was mostly battery, right? And I'm trying to convince him because he again, he's like, he's stuck in, well, this is how everything was working up until this point. And my whole point to him was, you're not trying to convince me. Like, I'm almost 30 years old. I know what you're talking about. What you're trying to convince is a 15-year-old who doesn't understand the world that you're describing. Because he or she has not dealt with that. And this is where we're at now. And
yeah, because now you walk around, like everywhere you walk around, you see people doing TikTok videos, they're dancing, and you're like, what's going on? And everybody's just doing weird stuff now.
When these things change the world, dude, like this, change the world. And if you understand it, like that's and I've told you this before too. If you are a creative person, this will be great because then you can make whatever your vision is. You have total control over it, so you can make a thing. Because basically, that whole premise of that is, he is walking down a path to go see Padme's grave, right? So on the way, he's talking to the ghosts of his past. So Obi-Wan is in it. Qui-Gon Jinn, and him as Anakin Skywalker. So all of that is, so he sees all those people as he's talking to them. And there's another one that someone made with for Star Trek. It's a similar concept where he's going to go talk to a dying Spock. So it's Will Shatner is doing, he does the walk, and they de-aged him, and they included a bunch of different scenes, and they de-aged them, and they did this whole thing. And like when you go look at the credits is not that big. But it looks like it's professionally done. Imagine this 10 years from now. 20 years from now. I mean, like, I'm still gonna be. I mean, I'm gonna be old, my 60s or whatever. But it's just gonna be like an amazing thing. And if you are living under the impression that you can just hold your breath and pout and stomp your feet or whatever, and you're gonna stop any of this stuff from happening, you're delusional. I have played you songs that AI dudes have made with Tupac, where it sounds like Tupac, and it sounds like a song that Tupac would make, talking about modern topics. Again, 10 years from now, what is it gonna look like?
True.
So they had a huge thing with DeepSeek is the Chinese AI, right? Huge thing, right? Elon Musk just announced Grok 3, which blew that out the water. So this is the new thing that's on X is the right now is the most sophisticated AI out right now. So, and they have plans for doing Grok 4, Grok 5 already. All right. So this stuff is changing exponentially. Microsoft just announced a new quantum computer chip where someone theorized about a new form of matter. I don't know, 100 years ago, a couple 100 years ago, whatever. All right. They, after 19 years of putting money into this, they were able to get it to work. So, and this is going to be a new quantum computer chip. So when you couple all of this stuff together, again, if you navigate it properly, you can make a lot of stuff. All right. But you just got to be willing to do it. A lot of people aren't. So you're getting the same old. Yeah. All right. So before we go, do you want to talk about either the Jack Sparrow thing or the Gunn Snyder team up thing? Which one you want to talk about?
Johnny Depp.
Okay. Let me look up that article. Here we go. There we go. All right, so Johnny Depp is returning to Pirates of the Caribbean after Vaughn never to work with Disney again. New rumor is making rounds that Johnny Depp will be in the next Pirates of the Caribbean movie, even after vowing to never work with Disney again. Is it true this time? Here's a breakdown. Disney Insider reported that Disney is gearing up to make the next Pirates movie with Johnny Depp. Whether or not he will reprise his iconic role of Captain Jack Sparrow is currently unknown. According to the report, an anonymous source claimed that Walt Disney Studios is preparing to begin production on the next Pirates movie. The source stated that while there is no timeline when the production will officially begin, they have heard this entry will feature the return of Depp, which will probably actually get people to come see it. Because anything else that they were talking about, and they weren't going to get nobody to see it.
Because that was a success with Johnny Depp.
Right. They were talking about like an all-female Pirates movie. Ain't nobody going to want to see that. However, Justice claim is mere rumor. They have no secondary source to verify it. Isn't the first rumor that Sparrow Johnny Depp will return to the franchise since his defamation victory over ex-wife Amber Heard. The Poopinator. Several outlets have suggested that Disney may be looking to bring him back. Yeah, because they want to actually make money. But after the way Depp was unceremoniously dropped from the franchise following allegations, no wonder they refused to work for them again. Many close to all they got to do is get this man enough friggin' money, and he like, all right.
I have a feeling. I feeling Disney gonna reach out to his agent and ask him if he's willing to come back for the right price.
Yeah.
Remember, Disney's desperate too.
Oh yeah. Many close to the actor noted that he felt betrayed by the House of Mouse and noted that they believed him guilty until proven innocent. We were in the height of the Me Too movement, so I'm not shocked at Disney's approach to this. Moreover, the film producer Jerry Bruckheimer confirmed that there are two different scripts in the works, one with Depp, one without. The latter reportedly is rumored Margot Robbie version, which nobody is going to go see. It's two different movies. We hope to get them both made, and I think that Disney agrees that they really want the Margot 1, 2. I don't understand why they would want that, because one, she is her star is not as big as it used to be, and nobody wants to see an all female Pirates movie.
I mean, if Johnny Depp is not there, that movie's gonna suck.
Yeah. This mean that Disney tends to make two separate Pirates of the Caribbean movies, one with Depp and one with Margot Robbie. The film with Johnny Depp will capitalize on nostalgia and iconic status of Captain Jack Sparrow. At the same time, the Margot Robbie entry would inject fresh energy into the franchise with a new cast and direction. However, the challenge lies in managing both films without diluting the brand overall appeal, which they've already done. Banking on the flexibility of these two scripts to test which approach resonates the most with audience. That, if true, the most surprising, Disney only recently hinted that they've abandoned their DEI practices, and such a shift will not happen smoothly. It's like, bro, no, I'm gonna say it again. Nobody wants to see a 5'2" bunch of chicks running around pirate ships. Nobody wants no. Not interested.
They even have a ride for the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Well, that's what it's based off of. So it's like the first movie was based off of the ride, and then he just kind of went off the rails a little bit. It was like, dude, nobody, no, bro. Like, remember, like I showed you the G20 thing. We we were sure that Kamala was going to win movie, and this was just going to be a homage to her. Like, nobody wants to see any of that stuff. Money is too hard to come by nowadays. People getting laid off left and right. Only willing to spend money on stuff that they feel that they're gonna get entertained by. More and more people are looking towards older properties, older books, video games, movies, television shows, yada yada yada. Because you know that when you want to sit down and be entertained, this thing that you're gonna look at, you will be entertained. If you like Friends, you have 10 seasons of Friends to watch. I like sci-fi, so I have old Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, and I have Stargate SG-1, and a bunch of other stuff that I know for a fact is good. Babylon 5, Far Side, all of these things are good. They all went for at least 5 seasons. So there's a lot of television that I can look at. So I do not need to give you $20 to go see your crappy girl boss movie. That's just kind of how it works. Hopefully they'll figure that shit out, but you never know. All right, so I'm a little curious about the that no. Okay, so I think this is more of an opinion piece about, because they were having conversations. Oh, see, I'll just show you a picture, and we're not gonna talk about it, but I'll show you a picture. See this? The Authority. All right. You know anything about them? No. Okay, so imagine they're heroes, but anti-hero Justice League. All right. So this is gay Batman and this is gay Superman, and they're in a couple. So they're in a relationship. So gay Batman, gay Superman. And this, I think that's Hawk Girl, and it's like a bunch of just people who most people would never heard of. So James Gunn is going to release that before he does his own Justice League. So you're not going to get Batman or Wonder Woman, but you're going to get gay Superman and gay Batman.
Why would he do that, James Gunn?
It's the same reason why he decided to go with Damian Wayne for Robin. It's his favorite.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
It's just like Dave Filoni. They have their favorite characters.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so it's like it is amazing how when James Gunn decided to scrap the old DC universe, the people who were left over were stuff that he had some touch with. So yeah, it's amazing how that works. Like, you get rid of everything else, but somehow the show that your wife is on's perfectly fine. It's canon. Like, okay. Yeah. Never mind that you can just make a Superman movie with him actually being Superman with Henry Cavill and you would have made a lot of money. Man. Never mind that you already teased that he was coming back. Never mind none of that shit. So, but we are getting Superman this year. I don't like the costume. I think it looks goofy. But, you know, it teased what it teased. All right. So that's it for today. There's some other stuff, but like the Snyder thing. We talked about the Marvel Rivals thing. I'm glad that they're telling that these Asian companies are telling these folks in the West to piss off. Like it's the same thing with
they're destroying their product.
Right. So just like with the hell see, I can't remember what it the folks who make stuff so that it not only do they translate it, I'm drawing a blank on the word for it, but they translate it in a way so that it fits the sensibilities of the people that they're translating it for. All right. They're switching over to AI to do that because the people who they had doing it before, again, they all live in San Francisco and Seattle and all these other places. They have no interest in what the rest of the country thinks. It's about people who look like them, think like them, talk like them. So they were redoing these people's scripts to reflect their worldview, not what the people said. So, like, if you're watching in Japanese and then you go look at it in English, they make jokes in English that has nothing to do with the Japanese thing. So most of the Japanese companies did not know that they were doing that. So once they found out, they got pissed. And it's like okay, if you're going to keep doing that, even if we're telling you to not do that, and you're still going to keep doing it, what we're going to do is switch over to AI. We're just going to fire all y'all. Bro, the new CEO of PlayStation, either the Sony or a Play. I can't remember if it's the Sony, like the Sony or PlayStation. Like the offices for PlayStation was in America. I think they got rid of most of those people and it's moving it back to Japan.
I mean, that's good.
Yeah, it's just like you can do some cultural stuff, but when you start pushing, like, and this is probably what happened with them folks in Seattle, they started demanding stuff. You know, like you see the things where you go into the Starbucks and there's some person behind the counter. You can't really tell what they are, so you just make a guess, and then they get all bent out of shape and start yelling at you.
I would not know. I don't even go to Starbucks.
But you know what I'm saying. You see a lot of videos like that of them having a hissy fit in the back.
Oh, yeah, TikTok, yeah.
Yeah, it's because somebody misgendered. I'm like, dude, I don't know who the fuck you are.
Yeah, there was a guy that was screaming at his old couple.
Yeah,
because she was telling her, "I'm a she," and it was like a grown man, looked like a man.
It's like asshole.
She had angry outbursts.
They don't know who you are. So whatever thing you got going on in your head, they're not mind. It's not Professor X you got standing in front of you who can read your mind and figure out what the hell you. They don't know that.
Professor X.
Right. So they're just making a guess. They're making a guess. I'm just guessing what the hell I'm looking at. I pick one. There's only two choices. So I just chose one that you look the most like. And you're yelling at me like I'm supposed to know, like we've been best friends for the last 10 years and I'm misgendering you. I don't know who you are. And at this point, most of us don't care. So you can say whatever you want. You can have a hissy fit, throw up sign, just lay on the ground, kick your feet like you're 2 years old. I'm just walk right over your ass and go out to the store. I'm like, I ain't never going back in there again. And eventually, that's enough people's going to do that, and your boss is going to fire your ass. And that's what's happening with all these other companies. Just like, dude, so no, we're not going to make because there was an uproar because they used a Malice costume for Invisible Girl. So it was like it's like she had like a whole thing where she went evil for a little bit because I forgot whatever reason. So her outfit was really skin tight and kind of like it showed cleavage, but it didn't show like nipples or whatever, right? So all these people went about it, and NetEase was like whatever, because you were a small, tiny population. You're not giving us money. Like this huge side is giving us money. They like it. I don't care what you think anymore. So that's hopefully, like if they decide any of these companies in the West, hopefully they'll get that at some point. But
Hopefully.
So we can actually get entertainment, and I don't have to choose my pronouns at the beginning of video games and worry about what I'm saying, because I don't want to hit on any other characters and put me into some kind of homosexual relationship without me knowing. So more power to you if you want to do that, but I don't really. How about we just have no sex? How's that? Just let me be an adventurer. I ain't trying to get with nobody. I ain't trying to get with dudes. I ain't trying to get with chicks. I'm just trying to kill whatever orc or whatever's in front of me. But we do that. That would be very, very nice. Right? But all right. So you got any thoughts?
No, I mean, I don't have no hope for I don't have that much hope, so
You gotta
if it
have
happens,
hope,
it happens. So if I'm hoping, but I don't really see it.
all right, well, I'm not there yet. I'm trying my best to not be black pilled, but you know, I'm in the what is what it is, and they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Somebody's gonna give me something that I'm entertained by, and I'll just play that. There's a new anime that I've been watching called Solo Leveling. I've been extremely liking it a lot. So, you know, I watched that. I don't watch a lot of anime. My roommate just showed me another one where it's are you know the Power Rangers?
Yeah.
You ever heard of the Power? All right. So imagine
I used to watch that.
all right, so you remember how those characters were? So this is an anime. It's called Red, where one of the characters was transported into like one of them RPG type areas. So he acts the same way that he does before. So every time he does anything, there's explosions and all kind of stuff happening around him. But he's the only one that thinks that's normal. Everybody else is kind of like this medieval type thing. It's actually pretty funny. So it's like and that's why that stuff is so huge. It's just funny. They're not no lectures, no trying to tell me how how my morals are bad or none of that stuff. That is why I am not black pilled. I'm more white pilled because that stuff is getting more popular, and so any other stuff is like whatever. The most popular character in the world used to be Tarzan and the Lone Ranger. Then it became Superman and Batman. It'll be something else. It sucks for you if you're a fan of those things, but just keep your mind out. Look at what's happening around you and become a fan of the new stuff. So, all right. So to all y'all, I will edit this down and post it. So the few people who checked this out, thank you. Wish you would have entered into the conversation. That would have been appreciated. But you know, it is what it is. So on behalf of myself and my boy Ricky here, we're out.
Peace out.
All right.